This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Do you guys have like a notes app tab that's just like random thoughts?
It's a beautiful place. That would be a funny segment, I think. All of us just going through our notes.
That would be, oh my God, I was just reading mine and it's all written in shorthand and it's wild.
The notes in your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one that just says, is a hot tub a human sous vide?
It's a sous vide. It's just like a giant pot.
So you put like meat or fish or whatever you're cooking in a pot in water, and then you put the sous vide in it, and the sous vide heats up the water to a certain temperature, and it cooks the food like perfectly, very slowly to that temperature.
The sous vide's the thing that goes into the pot.
Yes.
Got it.
It's like a thermometer temperature controlled like heating device.
One of my notes, I believe this is from the 24-hour thing. It says, have a DraftKings parachute in.
Ooh.
And then under that, I have a dash. It says, would Stugotz do that? ?
By the way,
spitballing.
By the way, Chris, you're heading for the Stugotz territory of being pitched for everything. Yeah. Which is like, wouldn't it be funny if Chris Cody ran down Ocean Drive nude?
Yeah.
Right? Like every idea, it's Stugotz and Chris Cody compete for that territory, which is, wouldn't it be funny if blank did blank?
I'm just glad there's someone else. Like, there's another option.
I've noticed in recent months that you like to seize on the moments where I become the idiot on the show. It's fair.
I've been the idiot for so long,
that's
man.
what I mean.
Yes.
You like seize on the moments of like somebody else.
Yes.
Ha ha ha! You fool.
I am so thankful for you.
Yeah.
No, I really am. I mean, I should probably tell you that more often.
This is what the Sunday Times thing is about. I came in here with some things circled from the Sunday New York Times. Not surprisingly, Fancy Lad was delighted to see a New York Times of any kind in the print edition.
I was just jealous that you got the Sunday Times, Dan.
Well,
I didn't get a chance to run out and get mine this weekend.
I have the Sunday Times, but not only do I have the Sunday Times, the reason it has things circled is because this is the rare instance when the Sunday Times made me think of Stugotz.
Oh, boy.
We will get to that in a second.
I didn't think that was possible.
But before we get to that, I just want to play for the audience here from TNT. There are times that Barkley and Shaq, and you don't see a lot of this on television, where you're watching people on television and they're not faking getting along. That there are times when Barkley and Shaq are going back and forth at each other and you really don't know if they like each other. And they have fought in their careers. They're professionals. They also know how to be entertainers. But you tell me here, they were talking about Brook Lopez's defense and they were talking in general about the Bucks defense, and they get into what feels like two people arguing who do not like each other.
Let's be realistic. The Milwaukee Bucks got a better team, and they're going to win the series.
Shooters.
They're going to win the series, depending on how many games it goes. They got lucky in Game 1 that the Milwaukee Bucks had the worst defensive strategy in the history of civilization.
They still had the same strategy Game 2.
No, they didn't. They did not. They did not have the same strategy. You watched the game.
I watched the game. He was backing up.
He was not backing up. They were up on every pick and roll.
Okay.
No, they were up on every pick and roll. Then you watch. We showed it.
Jeremy, you know what? At halftime, I want you to show me this guy backing up.
This guy was not backing up. They were up on every pick and roll.
They just had 9 turnovers and he wasn't making shots.
Well, that's because they cleaned out all the lanes. He had no open lanes because they were doubling him on the pick and roll. That's why he was turning the ball over and shot the ball bad.
It's not. He just had a bad game.
No, he had a bad game because of the defense change.
Stop it. First of all, you don't know nothing about no D. What the hell?
I can see. I mean, you were an awful defensive player on the pick and roll. They were playing defense like you did. You can't play defense like that.
I don't need to play defense.
No, you can't play defense like that in the modern NBA.
I don't know why anybody would even listen to you about defense.
No, I'm just telling you. I know I wasn't a great defender, but I was a better defender than you.
No, you wasn't.
You're the worst big man defender in the history of basketball, other than Brook Lopez in Game 1.
No, you wasn't. I'm fifth, dog. You better Google me again.
I I love that.
Chris Cody, what are you shaking your head about?
Shaq doesn't have much in these spots. I can relate to this. It's like he's
No,
kind of
don't.
out. He's
No, you
outmatched
don't.
here. He's outmatched, and he's just like, no, nope. Rings. It's just like he doesn't have, and Barkley's just better at this.
He is, but that's what Shaq has. He has the rings, and so that's what he throws in Barkley's face all the time, and that's exactly what you have to do.
I don't have to play defense. Actually, he's not wrong. He was so great at offense, and he didn't really have to play defense. So he called him the worst defensive big man not named Brook Lopez. He said that to his face on television. I don't know that
Specifically
he's
in Game 1. Game 1, Brook Lopez. All the other Brook Lopez
been fine.
Shaq.
Oddly specific. I will get to the New York Times here in a second and why it reminded me of Stugotz, but I cannot leave this show today without understanding why it is that Billy wouldn't stop yammering about Bon Jovi. I did not know. Are you a Bon Jovi fan? I did not know why it is that you were talking about Bon Jovi earlier.
Well, no, Dan, last week we found out that Jess is in with a Bon Jovi offspring. So we were trying to figure out a way that she could get some of the Bon Jovi perks and go to the Bon Jovi estate. Lo and behold, the Bon Jovis heard this and invited Jess over to said estate this past weekend.
What?
So I wanted all the deets on the Bon Jovi estate.
Please.
So
Yeah.
Bon Jovi, he's a very good businessman, and one of the things Bon Jovi said once upon a time at the height of Bon Jovi is that his goal was to sell out the desert twice, to have a show so big that he sold out the desert twice.
Are you just finding out that Smetty is friends with the Bon Jovis?
I did not know this until now,
He's a musician
until this very minute. Thank you. And what happened at his house?
Well, so I happened to be in East Hampton last weekend, and I figured that it's my life, and it's now or never.
Really?
You're not going to live forever?
Really? Okay.
And so I went over to his house, and I brought my dog. It was really embarrassing, though. She took a huge dump in Bon Jovi's lawn, right in a bed of roses.
Fertilizer.
And I couldn't find it, and I was so worried that I was going to leave my dog's crap at Bon Jovi's house. I was living on a prayer, Dan.
There are 4 of them she's launched so
now
far.
Now you're wanted, dead or alive.
Who says you can't go home?
All right, there you do it.
5 more at least.
Hit her with 5 of them. 5 or 6 of them. Just all of them.
A flurry, please. Thank you.
Yeah, he's my life.
Look at how you've disappointed John Amici, who has just shown up in the chat to be disappointed.
Did you steal anything from the Bon Jovis? That's the real question. Because you always have to take kind of like a souvenir, right? If you go to like a famous person's house, you just walk around and say, you know what? They don't need this candle holder. They're not going to know.
Well, I got a free bottle of rosé, so I mean it was incredible. The house is beautiful. The neighborhood is beautiful. There was a gate to get in. It was just, I was starstruck. It was a good time.
When's he coming on the show?
Amici,
I put in some groundwork.
Amici, why are you ashamed? Are you ashamed because of how bad the jokes were? Are you ashamed? What are you ashamed of? That's what you're ashamed of?
Yeah, that's Smetty, is it now? Yeah. No.
John, what's the most famous house you've been to?
I'm trying to
Queen's
think.
house, the castle. Have you been to a castle?
Oh, that's a good point. I forgot about that. Yeah, I've been to the palace a number of times.
That ends the game.
Her Majesty the Queen's.
I forgot it was a house.
Do you have any opinions on Shaq's defense? Here, let's play that sound for Amici again. This is courtesy of TNT here. This is Shaq and Charles Barkley arguing about whether the Bucks play any defense on the pick and roll.
Let's be realistic. The Milwaukee Bucks got a better team. And they're going to win the series.
Shooters.
They're going to win the series depending on how many games it goes. They got lucky in game 1 that the Milwaukee Bucks had the worst defensive strategy in the history of civilization.
They still had the same strategy game 2.
No, they didn't. They did not. They did not have the same strategy. You watched the game?
I watched the game. He was backing up.
He was not backing up. They were up on every pick and roll.
Okay.
No, they were up on every pick and roll. Then you watch. We showed it.
Jeremy, you know what? At halftime, I want you to show me this guy backing up.
This guy was not backing up. They were up on every pick and roll.
They just had 9 turnovers and he wasn't making shots.
Well, that's because they cleaned out all the lanes. He had no open lanes because they were doubling him on the pick and roll. That's why he was turning the ball over and shot the ball bad.
It's not. He just had a bad game.
No, he had a bad game because of the defense change.
Stop it. First of all, you don't know nothing about no D. What the hell?
I can see. I mean, you were an awful defensive player on the pick and roll. They were playing defense like you did. You can't play defense like that.
I don't need to play defense.
No, you can't play defense like that in the modern NBA.
I don't know why anybody would even listen to you about defense.
No, I'm just telling you. I know I wasn't a great defender, but I was a better defender than you.
No, you wasn't.
You're the worst big man defender in the history of other than Brooke Lopez in Game 1.
No, you wasn't. I'm fifth, dog. You better Google me again.
John Amici, you seem to be squirming. You seem physically uncomfortable.
I should not be entering debates about bad big men defenders. This is a true statement. I was the barn door swung wide open. But I will say that against Shaq, that was the only reason he came up to me after a game where we lost, obviously, in Los Angeles, and was like, "Yeah, you played all right today," and I was like, "Well, that's because I didn't go anywhere near you. You won't come out to the foul line. I can shoot a foul line jumper. Success happens under those metrics."
Mitch just stayed away.
Just far away. I'm not going to try and dunk on somebody. No. 15 foot, really good.
So he complimented you just because he wasn't bothering to leave the rim, the painted area.
No, he just stayed inside. He's like, "Yeah, you made a couple." He said, "Yeah. That's it. That's my entire chance against you."
All right. Well, we'll get back to you in a second. Just stay there. I got to get to this New York Times story very quickly here, Stugotz, because this is why it made me think of you. And we didn't talk about this enough last week because a comedy pioneer said goodbye. Conan O'Brien occupied a really magical space in the late night sphere across 3 decades. It's crazy. It's a crazy run, quirky and fun and genius. And one of the things that you hear about him, and you do not hear about this very much in that ego-soaked business, is not merely funny, but funny and kind. Funny and not funny at the expense of others. Funny and kind is what you heard again and again, and I'm real excited for whatever he does next because everything that he does is inventive and quirky and cool and blazes paths. And so I really have enjoyed his work over 3 decades when he carved out a space in the late night sphere that was his own at a time that it was difficult. He got done dirty a couple times corporately, and he had a great career. But the thing that happened more quietly is I don't know what happens next to Andy Richter. Andy Richter is his sidekick, and we don't know if he's going to continue with Conan. They have been nebulous about that. And so the story in the New York Times is maybe it's time to let the sidekicks stop guffawing. They're wondering whether the sidekick is something that has outlived its usefulness. This is not the part that made me think of you because you have not. It made me think of you because you might be one of the last remaining. I don't even know if you identify as a sidekick. Andy Richter was asked whether he considers himself a sidekick, and you have grown into a role like my father grew into a role on television where it wasn't a sidekick role anymore. It was a different role, but maybe it's time to let the sidekick stop guffawing is the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just read to you a handful of things that made me laugh from the story.
Okay.
The list of fired sidekicks is long. Magic Johnson's The Magic Hour, one of the most notorious bombs in TV history, went through several in a few months, including one, Craig Shoemaker, who was dismissed during a commercial break.
Shoemaker?
Several in a few
Shoemaker.
Several in a few months. And so one of the roles, because this is the way the article starts. Several years ago, Conan O'Brien's talk show did a bit about Andy Richter's forgetting how to do his sidekick job after a summer break. A woman from Human Resources had to remind him, quote, "You need to make the host," and this is what made me think of you. This quote right here.
Okay.
"You need to make the host believe in the irrational fantasy that he is the funniest person in the world." Laugh first.
That was funny, Dano.
Think later. Meech, why are you holding up awkward? Why are you holding up a sign here that says awkward? I said we would come back to you.
No, it's fine. I'm just sitting on the sidelines. It's just feels a bit awkward.
It's me.
Dan, we didn't know where you were going with that, and to Stugotz, maybe it felt like a shot through the heart.
Oh my God! Oh,
Maddie's got it.
Yeah, a flurry, just a flurry.
What?
Oh no!
What?
Leave me now! Bullshit!
Billy, I tried merging my contacts in my phone because apparently I had 13,322 contacts in my phone. And it merged your number into a name that was called Billy Gilchrist for some strange reason.
Ooh, an alias.
Yeah.
Wow.
No idea
Billy
why.
Gilchrist.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I had to change the name up.
You could leave it. I could just become Billy Gilchrist.
Bill Gilchrist.
Bill
Gilchrist.
Gilchrist. Alias.
What would I wear as Bill Gilchrist?
Oh, a suit, probably.
Yeah, suit.
Do you guys have, if you were ever to need a hotel alias, you know, like people, like celebrities that travel on the road, have you ever decided what your name would be if you had to check into a hotel under a nom de plume?
I did. Jack
Did you work
Spade.
that in nom de plume just to have it there?
That's
yeah,
correct.
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Hold on a second. There's a lot going on here. Roy, it seems, has already done this. Whitty seems to think that he needs to do this. Why do you guys think that you can't use your real names when you check into a hotel?
Well, I haven't done it yet. I use that name for like a creative player in like Madden or something, but that would be my name.
What was it
I
again,
check
Roy?
in. Jack Spade.
Jack Spade.
Jack Spade? Yeah, so
Jack Spade, Roy.
it's not, okay, so it's not that, it's not Billy that I think I will ever need this in life. It's more just like, I've heard of this. I think Amin told the story about how, like, about various NBA player aliases. And it's out there, right, in the world, and, like, how people check into hotels. So I'm just curious, if you were ever pressed into a situation, what name would you go with?
How would that even work, though? Because, like, when I check into a hotel, they ask for an ID and a credit card. So if I say, hey, I'm Robert De Niro, I would like my room, please, and I give them my ID and my credit card, they'd be like, you are not Robert De Niro. And I'm like, no, I just walk around and tell people I'm Robert De Niro, and that's my nom de plume when I go to hotels.
That actually is a great question. I don't know how that works logistically, but it seems like they must have a system, because, like, Michael Jordan cannot check into hotels as Michael Jordan, would be my guess. He's got to check in as, I don't know, Stanley Smith. I just made up two names.
Smith.
Yeah.
When do you think the last time that Stan Smith was standing there at the hotel check-in waiting behind someone to to check in? I feel like Stan Smith does not wait in lines to check in at any hotels that he goes to, right? He has people that does that for him.
You think so? No, I think Michael Jordan goes up to a checkout counter. I think he's
No
got
chance in
I think
hell.
he's
You
got
have Michael Jordan going up to a checkout counter in the
I
middle of
do.
a lobby?
No.
Yeah,
He goes in the back door of any hotel he stays
I have him
at,
disputing mini
if
bar
he stays
charges.
at
I do.
hotels.
Oh my God.
I feel like he just travels with an elevator that takes him straight to every room
Yes.
that he's staying in always.
If you have that kind of wealth, why would you stay in a hotel? Why not stay in like a huge mansion?
Exactly.
So you have Michael Jordan on Airbnb.
Yes. But like
Trying
a
to figure out
private,
the code
Yeah.
on the lock, and
private
he's like,
Airbnb.
it's not working.
There's a rich people Airbnb
Yes,
where
thank you, Jess.
there's only mansions and like
Yep.
private
Really?
homes
Yep.
to rent.
Is this another invite-only situation?
Has to be.
It's Raya for homes.
Yeah. By the way, I was denied on Raya. Very disappointed to report.
Wow.
Yeah.
Devastating news.
You attempted.
Are you
That's
okay?
bold.
I did, yeah. I did. I was denied. Although they did say, so if you open up the app, there's only one thing you can do, which is look at this load screen. And the load screen says, if you can get other more famous people on, then maybe we can reconsider your application. But it's like an invite friends situation where maybe I can get on if I can get, maybe some heavy hitters on.
The old bouncer at the club thing. Hey,
Yeah.
Ratio not high enough. You got to get more people.
Woody, are there any soccer players on the
problem,
various teams that you work for that might want to join Raya that you could negotiate
Ooh.
some deal with?
That's a good question.
Chicharito need a hot date?
Me and Chicharito are not exactly tight. He's also married, so that would be probably problematic for Chicharito.
Oh, damn.
Chicharo, as they refer to him as.
They do?
They do, yeah.
It's because he's older now.
Yeah, he's no longer little P. He's just P.
Oh, is that true?
No. They still call him Chicharito. It's just there are various forms of his nickname. Some people call him Chicharito. Some people call him Chicharo. Some people call him Javier. You know, there's different forms of that.
Billy, I wish I could go back to all the clubs back in the day and go through all the ones that told me the ratio isn't good in my party. One of them was definitely Mecca, which is next to the AAA. I don't know if you ever went to Mecca.
Mecca, wasn't it? Wasn't that in like the parking lot where everyone would park their car?
Yeah, I've parked at Mecca about 20 times. I've never walked in.
Yeah, trying to think. There was another one by where 11 is now, but it was a different club, and I'm trying to think of what it was.
Was that Heathrow, or was Heathrow somewhere else?
Wow, that's a throwback. I think it was on that same strip. For some reason, to my mind, it's coming Burgundy Room, but that was in Cocoa Walk, which used to be Crazy Pianos.
Oh my God, I went to Crazy Pianos once.
Good time. Then they turned into a what's it called? Duffy's, and I think that got blown out too. Nothing was ever able to stay in that place. There was a Hooters, there was a Duffy's, there was Crazy Pianos, there was Burgundy Room.
I don't know any of these names you're talking about.
Well, that's the thing, is that these clubs are like generational, right?
Yeah.
So like they exist for like 3 years, maybe, right? So like it's for the amount of time that you're probably like 19 to 22 that this club exists, right? So if you're 19 to 22 at the same time as someone else is in that window, then you know exactly what they're talking about.
That's why Billy and I can merge on these, because we were in that same age group, and I was probably getting in a lot younger too, which is a different.
Yeah, if not, then you know things by like totally different names.
Yeah, like Mr. Mozo.
I'd go to Cameo on Thursday.
That's you went to Cameo all the time.
Yeah,
that's like
I was
Cameo
at
all the
Cameo
time.
every single week.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you were to look at me now, you'd be like, Billy would go to Cameo? Like that doesn't.
That's exactly what I just did, actually.
Mansion back in the day.
I never went to Mansion. Mansion's been like, it's had like a for lease sign for like a decade. I don't know what's going on with that space, but no one seems to
It's for
want
lease, Billy. I mean,
well, yeah,
that's what's going on. I'm drawing a huge blank on it, man. And it's pissing me off. It's for some reason I'm thinking of like a color.
If you were to open a club, what would you call it?
Good question.
Smetty's.
Yeah, I think
that sounds more like a sports bar.
Yeah, Smetty's does sound like a sports
Irish
bar.
pub.
Bellies.
My club would be a sports bar.
Oh. Touche.
You can only have good sports takes to get in.
It sounds
not,
like
not many people getting in then, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like
exactly, just me. Private club.
So clubs got to have it's one word and it's cool sounding.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the good ones have like a K in it for some reason.
Oh, Bellies is pretty good, I think.
Why would you say that, Woody? What
I don't know.
What comes to mind
well,
when
like
you think
the
of
word
club?
that is in my head, I don't even think this has a K, is raconteur for some reason. Raconteur
Billy
feels like
Corbin?
a good name for a club. I know it means other
I
things.
feel like a lot of good clubs have a Q in them.
Ooh.
Like marquee.
Dan, what would you name a club?
Club of any sort.
Well, I think we're going for nightclubs here.
Well, I heard what you guys were saying, because the club scene, all of you were too young to remember that the beach didn't used to be this incredibly shitty thing when it comes to clubs. Like all that, I heard you talking about Mansion and Cameo and hold on, and that space has been Mansion, Cameo, and Level, right? Hasn't it been
Level.
all three of those?
How about Treehouse?
Manhattan.
Treehouse around here too?
Manhattans, is that what you said?
Yeah, Manhattan.
What would I name a club? I think you should just name a club Profit.
Yeah.
Profit, yeah.
But PHET.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, Profit, like,
Ooh,
yes.
that's a good club name. Profit. Double entendre.
In Power, it's called Truth. The nightclub is called Truth.
Yes.
How about Messiah?
Billy, I like the vibe you're going. Very like Mediterranean vibe with Messiah. You know what I mean?
Biblical.
Yeah.
You know how there's Liv, L-I-V? What if you had one named Dead, like D-E-D?
Wow, Dead.
I don't want your club. I don't think you want your club to be dead.
So didn't there used to be a club right next to Live that was like Arcadia or something?
Yes.
They should have had Dead right next to Live.
This club is dead.
Different vibe.
Arcadia. Old man.
These are things, Tony, that I know about but never experienced. My experience with Live and the Fountain Blue is waiting in the lobby like twice, and I was like,
you know what?
This isn't for me. I don't need to put myself through this any more times of not getting into this place. We're good here.
I've only ever been to Live to cover press events.
Ooh.
Not as cool.
The University of Miami Adidas reveal was there, and the International Champions Cup had a press conference there, which seems like a giant, like, exorbitant waste. Wow. Like, it must have been so expensive to rent that place out. And they only do it to say that they did it. But who experienced it other than media members? Like, okay, you got middle-aged white guys to come to Live. Like, it's the only time they'll ever go. They'll never speak of it ever again.
What time is it? What time is it?
It's like at noon on a Tuesday.
So it's not Live at that point.
I know, right? Exactly. I mean,
it's a conference room.
You're in the skeleton of the place. Yeah, exactly. It's a conference room.
Not Live.
Was this University of Miami?
Yeah.
I think that universities do these elaborate events because they have all this money to burn because they were trying to run their school at budget
Instead
on a
of
deficit.
giving it to the players.
Yeah, probably. Just a theory.
All right.
So when you go at noon, do they do like the thing with the lights and they have like the robots come out and like the smoke cannons and all of that?
No, it's incredibly sad.
Not Live, Bill.
It's spent plastic
Should have had it at Dead.
It's dead.
Roy, have you ever played Monopoly Deal?
No.
What is that?
It's a card game version of Monopoly that I am addicted to now, and every minute I've been awake for the last 3 days, I've just wanted to play it.
Like with a regular deck of cards?
No, it's a Monopoly Deal deck of cards.
Oh.
So it has it's Monopoly, but it's a card game. So you have properties on the cards and action cards and then money cards. And you play it like a card game. Like you have cards in your hand and you take turns. And the objective is to get 3 sets of properties. It's really fun. I'm sad you guys haven't played it. I'm definitely going to buy it and bring it to Miami and force all of you to play it with me.
So like you need a pair. So like if you were to do like Mediterranean and whatever, like all the yellow
Baltic.
Ones. Yeah. You then
those
win.
are brown, but yeah. So you need 3 of those.
Monopoly snob.
And then but that's it? You win the game just by getting 3 of them?
Yeah, but it's not that easy because you can get your cards stolen by other players, or you can, if someone charges you rent and you're out of money, you have to pay them with a property. There's strategy involved. It's really it's tricky. It's difficult.
For me, the whole appeal of playing Monopoly is getting a family together on a Friday night. And you're all sat around a table. It's like, listen, we're in it for the long haul. We got 4 hours ahead of us of playing some Monopoly. There's some strategy. There's people at the table who don't understand it. Everyone gets sick of it about halfway through, and you grind out a board game night. I imagine that's why they created Monopoly Deal, because I imagine that's a lot more seamless and fun. But for me, it's not proper Monopoly unless you really it has to feel like work by the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe I don't want to work. Maybe I just want to play a silly card game.
Then
and
play
it's like
Uno.
Don't play
Uno,
Monopoly.
but it's Monopoly,
Uno.
and it's fun. And the games only last like 10 or 15 minutes.
No, that's not
It's
Monopoly.
so much better. So you could play like 10 rounds, and then you can get really competitive. Like you can play like a best 2 out of 3, best 3 out of 5, best 7 out of 15.
Play another
I don't
game.
know.
How about that?
Yeah.
Play another
that's
game.
Not,
play
if that's your
Uno.
mindset, yeah. Monopoly's not for you if that's your mindset going into a game of Monopoly.
Yeah, play
Well, maybe
Uno and
Monopoly Deal isn't for you.
Draw 32.
It's not. And it's not Monopoly. It should just
I'm
be
gonna
called
make you
Deal.
play it. I'm gonna make you play it. We're gonna play it when I get to Miami.
I'm not even saying, by the way, that this couldn't be fun. I'm saying this isn't Monopoly.
Exactly.
What you've described. You've described a card game that they've invented out of thin air.
Ooh, go fish.
I'm so offended. How is it not Monopoly?
Monopoly
not
has to
Monopoly.
be 4 hours. Monopoly, that's
Yeah.
how Monopoly works.
And you have to hate each other by the
That's
end of
Yankees
it.
game, yeah.
Yeah,
It's Monopoly Deal. It's not.
got to
You're right.
accuse
It's
the
not
banker
Monopoly,
of
but it's still
cheating.
Monopoly.
It'd be like
You
saying,
guys would love it.
you know what? I've created a card game. It's Risk, but it's only in South America. It's you've invented something that's completely separate from the original game. Like it has nothing
not
to do with
separate.
Monopoly.
Of course you played Risk.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I love Risk.
He looks like a big Risk guy.
Yeah.
I love Risk.
Wait, how many times have you played?
I've
Risk?
never played Risk before. I only
Wow.
I had to
Catan.
Google military board game because I was looking for the reference. I know that people play Risk and we'll play it for
board game.
3 days at a time, but I've never actually played it myself.
Billy, is
such a board game snob.
Is Risk the game the only time you ever utter the sentence "I love Risk"?
I do love Risk. It's a good game. I don't like Risks in general, but the game totally different. And now you can play video game Risk. Oh, video game Risk goes by pretty quickly. I like that. I also played video game Monopoly recently, and the people that I was playing with thought that I was crazy because in this version, I don't remember board game Monopoly because it's been a while since I've done that. But if you land on a property, you can choose not to buy it, and then it goes up for auction, and you're just like bidding on it, trying to win. So I'm either up bidding or I'm just buying every single property on like the first go round till like my funds are almost depleted. But I have so many properties that I know I just need to last like 3 rounds of this, and then I'm just going to be getting all of this money back.
Okay, Whittingham, is that real Monopoly?
It's not. It's not.
Yes, it is.
No, I mean, it might be fun, but that's not how you play Monopoly.
How do you play?
Well, you roll the die, and you land on a space, and you decide whether or not you want to buy it or not.
Exactly.
Okay, but when you play Monopoly, the board game, an auction doesn't happen out of nowhere.
Well, but most people don't choose not to buy properties as well. You could just choose not to buy the property.
Yeah,
it's only real Monopoly if you're not having fun with your family for 4 hours.
That's correct.
I'm Chris Whittingham.
That's correct.
I'm the king of not having fun.
My family was not having fun in video game Monopoly either. So,
either. Okay.
All right, so we've met at least one of the criteria.
What a terrible kingdom you oversee. The king of not having fun. She has just proclaimed you. She is
rules are rules, Dad.
Are board games doing well? Is the board game business doing well? Because I would think that in 2021, things are moving so fast and there's so many other options and everyone is so video addicted that board games are like this pastime. I'm guessing that somewhere the makers of Monopoly are sort of like, damn, no one's got time for 4-hour games anymore.
Well, I think the smart board game companies are now figuring out how to make an app. Like yesterday, I found myself Googling, is there a Monopoly deal app? Because I will play this game with internet strangers because that's how addicted to it I am.
Dangerous
and there wasn't.
game.
And that's a huge missed money-making opportunity.
Well, the dangerous game is finding an app game that you like on your phone because you will spend 2 hours unable to move. Like for me, my game was 2048. I will play that game for hours on end until I get a 2048 tile.
Of course it is. Of course it's 2048. Well,
I'm on the Monopoly website, and there are apps, one of which is Monopoly Sudoku. It seems like Sudoku's Sudoku. How do you monopolyfy that? It's just
you
numbers.
Slap a logo on it. It's just you slapping a logo on it. That's really all it is. But Dan, to answer your question, I imagine that board games are struggling. Now, when I walk past that section of Target, all the board games are still there. I had to buy Jenga for Freedom, and so all the games are still there. But yeah, I have to imagine this Monopoly deal is born out of people not having time for Monopoly. So Monopoly goes, hey, a lot of people like Uno. What if we created a game that's like Monopoly, but also like Uno, and we've created a totally fake version of Monopoly?
Jessica just looked it up. We are wrong again. Every business evidently is thriving. Go ahead and read what you threw
hang on. I'm not having this. I just read this in the chat. 20% growth in the in the use of board games in 2020, the year in which we're all stuck in our homes with our families. But I needed things to do during a pandemic. But I imagine in 2019, sales were declining of board games.
It's grown, according to Jessica here in the chat, since 2013. The industry almost broke $10 billion in sales in 2016.
What do you have to say to that, Whittingham?
$10 billion in sales in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stunned.
That's crazy. $10 billion?
Because the people most excited about playing board games are kids, and I just presume that every 14-year-old is on TikTok all day.
No. You love a good game night. You don't have game nights? I love a game night.
You're such an old man yelling at Cloud. All the kids these days on TikTok, no one plays a good game
I'm not
of Risk anymore.
I'm not begrudging it. I can't imagine someone who's on their phone all day wants to, take the car over to Park Place.
When's the last time you interacted with a kid, Whittingham?
It's been a while.
You've never been a kid. You've never met a kid.
He's never been a kid.
Witty, I'm on the Monopoly website still and just found a game called Monopoly Speed. Got 10 minutes? Play Monopoly Speed, a game where everyone plays at the same time.
Bullshit.
You hit the timer and buy and trade together before time runs out.
What is this, a New York Stock Exchange of Monopoly? What the hell?
Monopoly Speed.
That's
I
not
mean,
Monopoly.
Monopoly is like the ultimate capitalistic board game for kids.
Sure.
Right? Kind of brainwashing them.
Ooh, wow, there's a board game, Smetty, called Monopoly.
hang on,
Big.
Billy. Hang on, Billy. Leave Jess on this island of explaining why Monopoly is corroding our children.
I'm not saying it's corroding our children. I'm just saying it's all about making money and charging rent and bankrupting other people. And the purpose of the game is to have a monopoly. And I think that has a lot to say about the capitalistic society in which
capitalism in real estate.
Let's have a game called Share where everybody wins.
It is.
There you go, Billy.
It's socialist.
I'm going to turn my
Monopoly
Park
Cheaters
Place apartment into a co-op for people to live in for free. That's how
a
I'm
new
going to
board
win at
game called
Monopoly.
Marxism.
Billy, can you go on with Monopoly cheaters?
I just clicked on it and I got a 404 error.
They banned it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it being like the cheaters of the show where they follow people around. They're like, we caught them cheating at Monopoly.
The description, it's just a thing. It says Monopoly Cheaters Edition. What can you get away with? And it just has like the guy, the Monopoly man, with just a bunch of money in his hand behind his back. And then it says the bank. Like he just went and robbed the bank.
I like it.
I have it in
What's
front of me. I have it in front of me
Monopoly
here on
token?
Amazon. Follow, bend, or break the rules to win the Cheaters Edition of the Monopoly Bar. I'm reading the description here on Amazon. Don't get caught. This Monopoly game includes a plastic handcuff unit that chains cheating players to jail space.
What?
The hell is this?
Holy
Cheat
shit.
cards encourage players to cheat, which cheat to attempt. Complete a cheat to get a reward. That sentence makes no sense. Cheat cards encourage players to cheat, and which cheat to attempt. What? Complete a cheat to get a reward, fail a cheat, and pay the consequences. Get family and friends together to play this wildly different Monopoly game. Expect lots of laughs, as players are encouraged to bend the rules as part of gameplay.
I like it.
Slap handcuffs on your kid, huh?
The thing about it, though, is that it seems like there are cheat cards, if I'm understanding this right, and it tells you how to cheat. So in doing so, you're following rules in a sense. So you're not actually cheating.
Yeah, that's not exactly the intent.
Let's follow, bend, or break the rules, right?
Wow.
Do you want me to buy Monopoly Cheaters Edition so we can play maybe for like a forthcoming mystery crate? And
No.
Get Monopoly deal, and we'll do an episode where I explain how to play it because it's like really stupid and confusing.
Wow, a Monopoly episode of Mystery Crate where we play all of the Monopoly spin-offs.
Oh my god.
I would love that.
It'd be as long as Freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just playing the
hour of regular Monopoly.
Just
Here we
playing the
go.
traditional rules of Monopoly. It'll be a 5-hour edition. You want to go around the room and everyone reveals what's the strangest thing that they've ever eaten?
We could do that.
Roy, what's the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
I believe I ate a kangaroo.
Took mine. Took mine. I had kangaroo as well.
Was it from, there was this place downtown that delivered
No, I had
food?
kangaroo in Australia.
Oh, you actually went to Australia
Yeah.
and had an actual, okay.
It was part of a
Fancy
it was
lab.
part of a meat platter, and it was like there's kangaroo, and there's like all right.
So you've had kangaroo, but you have not had a Snickers or beef jerky.
That's correct. That's correct.
Weird.
I'm a man of multitudes. Chris Cody, Chris Cody, what's the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
Off the top of my head, like octopus, which is not that
That's
weird.
not that-
I know it's
that's
not
not
weird.
weird.
I know.
That's
I'm
not
trying
at
to
all.
think.
It's
I can't think of anything.
Calamari.
Nice
I mean,
purple.
Yeah, but I've had like grilled octopus where it like looks like an octopus while I'm eating.
Has anyone ever had poi? You ever gone to Hawaii and had poi?
No.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
I thought it was good.
Good? At
What
best,
exactly
at
is
I mean,
best
there's really
bland.
not many foods I don't like.
What exactly is boy?
It's like a let me pull up the description.
Like
what's
a pork paste?
It's like a pineapple, banana, coconut.
thick paste
like
of pounded
condiment.
bananas or pineapples mixed with coconut cream.
Okay, so it's a fruit paste.
Yeah,
It looks like pudding.
it's bad.
Or like a custard without the egg. It's
like-
right.
But I think in Hawaii it's made of taro.
Oh, like a root? Like taro? Okay.
Yeah, like it's starchy. I remember it being purple and starchy.
What's a food you don't like, Jessica?
I think I like all of them.
That can't be true.
I like all the foods.
That can't be true.
I can't think of one.
You don't have like a meal like that someone says like, oh, come over, we're making this. You're like, pass.
I would eat it.
What's your favorite food?
Ooh, that's an even harder question.
No,
I
I'm
like
sorry.
most
I
of them.
cannot have that you simply do not dislike a food. It's impossible.
I can't. I mean, if you think of something, I'll say if I like it or not.
Brussels sprouts.
Oh, I love Brussels sprouts.
Oh, Brussels sprouts are good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
I almost threw up once eating Brussels sprouts at Prime 112.
You haven't had the right one.
Why?
Yeah. Those are
Disgusting.
excellent. Those are excellent, by the way. The ones at Prime 112
Jesus
are
Christ.
God.
beautiful.
I had to run to the bathroom because I was in a business dinner and I almost threw up in front of someone.
They need to be roasted.
Oh my God.
Or
Nicely
fried,
salted.
boy. Or fried. A nice
I haven't
pan,
had fried.
pan fried. Oof.
No, I haven't
so
had
good.
Ooh, fried, deep fried too. Oh.
Somebody gave me a recipe where you put like honey on it at the last 5 minutes of the roasting. It actually turned out pretty well.
A nice little caramelization at the end.
Yeah.
Do you go caramel or caramel?
Caramel.
Caramel.
Caramelization, caramel. I think I use both of them.
Caramelization.
I just texted Lee to ask him if there's any foods I don't like.
You like
he said-
anchovies?
Because he would know.
He would know better than me, but I do like anchovies, yes.
Blood sausage.
Yeah.
I've never tried it.
Okay.
I had blood sausage once.
Foul.
Not great.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say, Roy. Not great.
Yeah, it's blood and what, oats and grain and whatnot?
Yeah.
Blood and sausage.
What's
Yeah,
the
not great.
weirdest food you've ever eaten, Tony?
I've had alligator. I've had rattlesnake. I've had
Rattlesnake.
I had alligator.
I had a
Alligator.
I've had
rattlesnake
rattlesnake.
sausage.
That was a very Florida man answer, to be honest.
But I had it in
Alligator and
Colorado,
rattlesnake.
actually.
Wow.
Yeah. It's actually a bar that's right next to Coors Field that does interesting and different animal sausages. And I had a rattlesnake sausage.
So you had like Rocky Mountain oysters at that?
I have not had Rocky Mountain oysters. I would try them. I'll try anything once.
Okay.
Same.
I'll try anything once. There are distinct things that I don't like and that I've tried and I just don't like them, but I'll try anything once.
Okay.
I don't like bananas.
What? Whoa.
I'll go out and say it. I don't like bananas.
It's the flavor, like
It's
the preparation.
flavor. The flavor is just. I have such a strong sense of where a banana has been placed in a fruit smoothie, in like anything. No, I can taste banana through anything. Yeah, but I love maduros and platanitos.
Oh, me too.
So you like
good. That might be my favorite. That might be my favorite food.
Really?
Maduros?
Yeah. Oh my God, I could eat so many.
I like a tostone better than a maduro.
Oh, I love a tostone.
I want them both with some congri.
Same.
Yum.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then.
Sorry.
I don't actively go out and find a banana to eat.
I felt like you forgot you're having a conversation with other people just then. You're just like, oh.
I agree, though, Jess. I agree.
So good.
Bailey,
Plenty of those once I move.
Bailey, strangest thing you've eaten?
I've had ostrich jerky.
Oh, I've had
so have I,
ostrich
Billy.
too, yeah.
It was
Ostrich jerky.
yeah. It's at a smoothie place by the register.
Oh.
And they said, you want to try some of this? I said, not really. And my uncle said, okay, I'll get you one anyways. And then we had ostrich jerky.
How often do you get like crazy when you're like, you know, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna go to
Me?
a restaurant. Yeah.
Never. I eat like 4 things
Really?
on rotation. Yeah. Like five maybe. if
Burger
I'm feeling
King?
really crazy. Yeah, Burger King. Obviously.
Cereal.
Cereal's when I'm getting a little crazy.
You eat dry cereal all the time.
I like dry cereal. I don't have any, but I do like a good dry cereal.
And applesauce.
I haven't had applesauce in probably years.
Mac and
If I was
cheese.
gonna be honest. Mac and cheese I love. God, I love mac and cheese.
I always see you with the little mac and cheese cups.
Yeah, people love mac and cheese. Do you guys
you
not
have
like mac
2
and
of
cheese?
those under your desk.
Vienna sausage.
Yeah, in case of emergency.
Pizza.
Pizza's great. I love pizza.
So we're at 4 now, I think. Can we guess the last thing that Billy loves? It's Coke.
Well, wait a
but
minute. But hold on. You're not doing like full meals. You're doing like portions of meals, like mac and cheese.
Goes with anything.
Then I eat more than 5 things. Here's a question. If you guys, this is more along the lines of what your favorite food is, but it's a different way of asking it. If you were cut in half with a samurai sword and instead of blood, everything that you eat comes out, what would come out of you?
That's a completely different
Oh my God.
topic than.
I would be like 60% chicken wings.
Wow.
Yeah, I eat a shed load of chicken wings.
I mean, you ate 15 during freedom.
Yeah, well, actually it was more like 20, but yeah.
20, sorry.
I love, and honestly, it's really frustrating because by me, there isn't really a good place for buffalo chicken wings. This is going to sound unctuous, but the only good place that make good chicken wings by me is my own air fryer in my kitchen.
Oh my god!
I make the only chicken wings that I like near me.
There's no Flannies by you.
Does anyone else think that Unctuous was on Witty's Word of the Day calendar on Monday?
He's used it a couple times this week, I think.
Have I?
Yeah.
Buffalo wings overrated. I like,
Yeah, you got mad at me when for Freedom I ordered wings with buffalo sauce on them. I was like,
"What's your favorite go-to flavor?"
I mean, like
I hate buffalo.
I like a
wings.
Mayong.
Really?
Have you ever had Mayong wings? I like, any kind of teriyaki,
Barbecue?
any kind of barbecue is better than
lemon pepper.
Barbecue
I
is
just like
definitely
my
better.
least favorite is like just buffalo, like whatever
agree.
medium or hot.
I figured it was like a order for the table. Here's a quirk about myself. I actually have a music playlist on my Spotify, which is called Mutually Agreeable. And it's basically when I'm in the car with people that I've never.
Let's go through this. Open that up and let's go through the.
How many
mutually
songs?
So it's
playlist.
pop, right? It's gotta be.
Is it a long car drive or is it a short car drive?
It's for any time I'm in a car with people that I've never met before, and I don't know what their music preferences
That's like an
are.
Uber driver would have that.
Exactly.
What?
So you're kind of like an Uber driver?
Are you often in cars with people you've never met?
Or okay, it's not cars I've never met, people I've never met. It's people whose musical taste I don't know. So I'm trying to like guess, and it's basically like a sample of like for example, "Pumped Up Kicks" by Foster the People.
Oh, you definitely played this playlist when you took me on a tour of Miami.
I did. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did, Jessica. That was the exact.
Was it horrible?
That was
Jess?
the playlist that I went for, and it was basically like inoffensive songs.
I was about to say inoffensive. Yes.
Yeah, it's inoffensive songs that are kind of spread out through the genres, right? And so you're not like really narrowing it on pop music or rock music, whatever. It's a little bit of everything. And it basically, I don't think anyone's ever getting mad at me for playing this. And maybe they like this, so I can kind of latch on that. And when I, in the future, have to play music for that person, can tailor it to that need.
Well, so hold on a second. So after you've driven Jessica around to show her the town, right?
I don't remember anything that I would.
I was going to say, do you then make specific playlists for the people that you've just driven around? Like, okay, I made mental notes.
But I'll
These
know.
are 3 or 4 songs she liked. Now let me make a playlist.
Maybe don't play Michael Jackson music next time, or maybe don't play Red Hot Chili Peppers music next time, or maybe don't play. I've got like a little bit of that. I have like a Beatles song on here. Maybe someone.
What would you play for me, Witty? What music do you think I like? Judge me. Clearly, you couldn't tell the first time we met.
Well, it was a lot of talking during it, so like there wasn't really like a whole lot of response to the music. So I would say the song that probably most got your attention was probably "Starboy" by The Weeknd.
Good song.
I would say
no response is the worst, right?
Which is a banger.
No response is worse than a negative response, right? When
There you
just
go.
get
She said she loves The Weeknd, so you were right on.
Okay, so
with
I was
that.
right. Yeah.
Let's go through your playlist.
Okay.
Let's go through your playlist, and why don't you pick the songs on that playlist, and who do you think would most respond to said songs?
All right, so let's see. I have "Just a Friend" by Biz Markie.
Why? Good song.
It's a good song. I mean, it's a good song for being around people. "Despacito," obviously.
Banger.
Another one.
"Kiss" by Prince.
3 for 3.
That's a great song.
Yeah, you're 3 for 3 right now, Woody. You're nailing it.
Billy, what are you laughing at?
I love this.
Sugar,
Mutually agreeable.
Mutually agreeable. "Sugar" by Maroon 5.
I thought you were going Watermelon. Maroon 5, huh?
Watermelon Sugar probably would make it now.
Like strawberries.
We should stop.
Yeah.
You also don't have your mic on, and you haven't for some time now.
Yeah, turn your mic on.
a little background noise. It's my sweet spot.
"Feel It Still" by Portugal the Man. "Hollywood Swinging" by Kool and the Gang. Just in case. Maybe they like some older music.
Well, you got me on that.
See, look, I got Roy. A lot of this music on the Mutually Agreeable playlist probably wouldn't be agreeable for Roy, but
you're like 3 for 6 right now.
Yeah,
3 for 7.
Let's see here. "Vivir mi vida" by Mark Anthony.
I had no idea what you just said.
It's a classic, but
It's odd.
Odd choice, but a classic.
No, but again, I'm trying to cover all groups here. Maybe some people
He's
like
picking and choosing.
Yeah,
here.
exactly. I'm siphoning off. That's kind of the feel of it.
Right.
Do you want me to keep going?
Yes.
Okay. "No Diggity" by Blackstreet.
Okay, 4 for 8.
Why are you laughing?
It's just funny.
"Mr. Brightside" by The Killers.
Oh my Jesus Christ!
What?
I had a feeling that one was going to be on there. If you want to be honest,
it's basically like things you'd hear on like an adult contemporary. Is Jessica singing Mr. Brightside?
Joking
No,
on
please.
your alibi.
You can't.
Whoa. Yeah, you gotta stop.
That's about the size of it.
It's like you got 2 songs from every edition of Now That's What I Call Music.
Yes, exactly.
In a playlist.
Except there wasn't a Now That's What I Call Music when Kool and the Gang was popular. But yeah, basically, yeah.
What are your other playlists? Because you said that you filled this with unoffensive songs. So what is the playlist filled with the offensive songs that you have?
I think I have one that's called BPM, which is just basically very high intensity house music. Occasionally used when
Mike
working
Ryan's
out.
protege over here.
Yeah, what do you use that for?
Just working out, or if like, for example, the other night.
Wait! You said it's called BPM, like beats per minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other night I was I had a MLS doubleheader at Univision, and I had to drive home at 1:00 in the morning, and so that might be a BPM kind of night. You have to have the energy.